This is the FPL Draft Zone, your fantasy team's best signing of the season.
Hello and welcome to the FPL Draft Zone, a podcast all about draft FPL. I'm Dom Crofts. I hope you are well, and I hope, like me, you are looking forward to this very special edition of the pod, which today focuses solely on transfers, on new signings, because this week the transfer window has slammed shut in the Premier League. And after an influx of new signings into the top flight, we thought now was the time to rate and slate them before we've even seen half of them play. We will be taking a look at all the impactful new signings to the Premier League in just a moment. But before we get going, if you're watching us on YouTube, please make sure that you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss an episode. Please also tell all your friends about us so we can up that subscriber count. And if you listen to us in audio form, please make sure that you too are subscribed to the pod. And please give us a 5-star review. That is our currency here. It is our only currency. We do not accept 4 stars, 5 stars only. So we're going to go through team by team and talk about the new boys into the Premier League. But before we focus on the new signings, let's focus on the teams who did not act in January, teams who made no new signings likely to impact us in FPL draft. And there are 5 of those teams. Arsenal, the league leaders, did not make any moves of any note in January, nor did Brentford or the champions Liverpool, who did sign Jeremy Jacquet, but he will not join them until the summer. Manchester United are in a red-hot streak of form under Michael Carrick, but he has not moved in the transfer market either, and nor did Eddie Howe and Newcastle United. One team who did make moves, though, were Aston Villa, who must still fancy themselves to possibly win the title this season. Outsiders, yes, but they're still in a strong position. And to enhance that position, they have brought back Douglas Luiz, who is on loan from Juventus, having had a loan spell already this season with Nottingham Forest. Made 8 appearances for Forest, picked up 1 assist in his time at the City Ground. Did not really do himself justice under Sean Dyche. Doesn't seem like the sort of Sean Dyche player when you think about Douglas Luiz and what Sean Dyche likes in a midfielder. Douglas Luiz did start for Villa at the weekend in their defeat to Brentford, racked up 0.28 XGI in that one. And we mustn't forget the impact he had in his first spell at the club, 2023 to 2024. Finished the season with 9 goals, 5 assists and 148 FPL points, which is very, very respectable. And the season before, 2022-2023, he got 6 goals, 7 assists and finished the season with 142 FPL points. So very consistent point scoring from Douglas Luiz. He will be on set pieces at Aston Villa. Yuri Tielemans is out for the foreseeable. So too is John McGinn. Aston Villa have a host of midfield injury issues. Douglas Luiz will play week in, week out if he can stay fit. And I think that makes him a player we should all be considering on the waivers as a possible 5th midfield option. He will be on corners. He has shown he can score goals. He has shown he can assist. He is back at the club where he has performed at his best. And I think Douglas Luiz is worth strong consideration on the waivers going forward for your draft team. Villa have also brought Tammy Abraham back to the club. He has joined from Besiktas in Turkey for £18.25 million. Been a bit of a journeyman over the last few seasons, had spells in Italy and Turkey. So far this season for Besiktas, he had played 26 games for the club and scored 13 goals, which is a very decent return. Last season, he was not bad in his first and only spell with AC Milan, got 10 goals and 7 assists. 2023 to 2024, it started to go wrong for him at AS Roma. He lost his place in the team, finished with just 1 goal in 12. But he had actually done the business for Roma prior to that. 9 goals and 7 assists in 2022-2023. And in his first season at the club under Jose Mourinho, finished the season with 27 goals and 5 assists. Very impressive stuff. What we should say, though, is that in his final spell in England before he made the move to Italy, he was also pretty impactful in the Premier League with Chelsea, 2020 to 2021. Finished the season with 12 goals and 6 assists. Also had a goal disallowed on his debut against Brentford. So given that Ollie Watkins has been in and out of form this season, given that Tammy Abraham is come to take minutes off Watkins, I think he will see a lot of game time. Maybe not always from the start. Maybe those minutes will be shared with Ollie Watkins, and maybe Ollie Watkins will get the majority of them. But I do think Tammy Abraham is worth consideration for your draft team, because I do think as a third striker option, he will return several times between now and the end of the season. Compared to someone like Igor Jesus, who is playing regularly, I would back Tammy Abraham to finish with more goals than him come the end of the campaign. Bournemouth have also been busy in the transfer market. They signed Ryan, their midfielder from Vasco da Gama, for £24.7 million. He is a Brazil under-21 international, 14 goals in 34 Brazilian top-flight matches last season, had 21 attacking returns overall in all competitions. 20 of those attacking returns were goals. Made his debut for Bournemouth at the weekend against Wolves, walked away with an assist and 0.60 XGI from just 22 minutes of on-pitch action. I think everyone is considering Ryan as the long-term replacement for Antoine Semenyo, and if he can deliver even half the returns that Antoine Semenyo did, he will be an excellent signing for Bournemouth. All sorts of talk that he has a particularly high release clause in his contract, which tells you that Bournemouth obviously think he is going to be worth a fair bit of money in the next few seasons. And if he can break into their team on a regular basis, I think he's got all the tools in his arsenal to have a very successful time on the South Coast. So Ryan, another one to consider, may not start week in, week out to begin with, but like Estevao, has already shown that he can have an impact off the bench. And if he keeps having impacts off the bench, it's probably only a matter of time before he starts to have impacts in that first team. Bournemouth have also signed Alex Toth from Ferencváros in Hungary for £10.4 million. He's billed as a defensive midfielder, made 52 appearances for Ferencváros, where he got just 4 goals. A Hungarian football expert, Bence Boxak, has spoken out about Toth's qualities. He says as a holding midfielder, he's more of a deep-lying creator. He can also play more advanced as a number 10. He's a good presser, so number 10 will probably be the role he could play in this Bournemouth side. Now, Alex Toth has also made his debut for Bournemouth. I do not expect him to be a regular in their starting 11 anytime soon. So even though he has the potential to bang as a number 10, I would not be concerning myself with him on the waivers anytime soon. Very much a watch and wait for Alex Toth. Brighton, well, they brought back Pascal Gross in January. We've already seen quite a lot of him in the past and quite a lot since he signed at the start of the month. He cost the club £8 million from Borussia Dortmund. He made 66 appearances for the Bundesliga club, ended his time there with 1 goal and 17 assists. Has been fairly prolific in the past for Brighton. In 2023 to 2024, finished the season with 4 goals and 11 assists. The season before, 2022 to 2023, 9 goals and 8 assists. He started the last 4 matches for Brighton. He's got a goal in that time at the weekend, in fact, against Everton. He currently has racked up 1.3 XGI. I think as a 5th midfield option, Pascal Gross is an excellent pick. I would certainly consider him on the waivers if he is free. Brighton have also recalled Matt O'Reilly from his loan spell with Marseille. He made 25 appearances for the French club, got a goal and 6 assists for De Zerbi's men. He has made 23 Premier League appearances across his time at Brighton, in which time he scored 3 goals and got 2 assists. One of those goals was his only goal this season before he made the move to France. That was a penalty against Fulham in game week 1. If he can get his way back into that Brighton starting 11, maybe he will be back on penalties as well. But he is very much a watch and wait for me as well. I cannot see him being a regular starter anytime soon. Burnley have brought James Ward-Prowse in on loan from West Ham United. Ward-Prowse made just 5 appearances for the Hammers this season. Last season, he finished the campaign with 1 goal and 1 assist. In 2023 to 2024, in his first spell with the Hammers, finished the campaign with 7 goals and 7 assists. And of course, he was very prolific in his time at Southampton. 28 attacking returns across his final 2 seasons for the Saints. So an average of 14 attacking returns a season. Do I think he will have that sort of impact at his age now, playing for a team of the caliber of Burnley? No, I don't. He is, of course, a threat from set pieces. He will probably, if he starts week in, week out, be in charge of corners, be in charge of free kicks. But is that enough to warrant consideration for your draft team? I don't think it is. Chelsea have brought back Mamadou Sarr from Strasbourg. He is a central defender. He made 18 appearances for the French club this season in all competitions. Last season, under Liam Rosenior at Strasbourg, he kept 10 clean sheets in 27 league appearances. Liam Rosenior has spoken glowingly about Mamadou Sarr's qualities. He says his temperament, his athleticism, his ability on the ball, he has got everything you need to be a world-class centre half. Now, Chelsea's dream duo at the back right now appears to be Wesley Fofana and Trevor Chalobah, but Wesley Fofana's injury issues are there in plain sight. Very rarely plays more than one game a week, has only managed to play back-to-back Premier League games from the start twice across the course of the campaign, and I suspect Mamadou Sarr has been brought in as the next man up. So I think Sarr will see a lot of minutes. Let's see if Wesley Fofana starts against Arsenal in the EFL Cup and see if he's going to then follow that up with a game at the weekend in game week 25. If he doesn't, I suspect Mamadou Sarr will walk into that Chelsea backline, and he might, once he's in there, never leave it. Crystal Palace have been very busy. They brought in Evan Gassand on loan from Aston Villa. He's joined Aston Villa at the start of the season for £26 million from Nice. Made 21 appearances for Unai Emery's side, scored just 2 goals in all competitions. Last season was a little more successful for him in League. Made 33 appearances for Nice, finished the season with 12 goals and 9 assists. One of the benefits for Evan Gassand is that he can play across the front line. He can play as a centre forward. He can play as a winger. He can even play as a number 10. He was very high on Crystal Palace's wanted list in the summer, but he made the move to Aston Villa instead. Palace have finally got their man. I think Oliver Glasner will be very pleased to have him, and I think he will become a regular starter for Crystal Palace in time. Whether or not it will be as early as game week 25, I'm not so sure, but one to keep an eye on because he has the potential to impress despite his underwhelming performances in Aston Villa colours. Palace have also signed Jorgen Strand Larsen from Wolverhampton Wanderers for £48 million. He has had a woeful season for Wolves. 1 goal and 1 assist this season. He's not started any of their last 7 league games, but he has come to Crystal Palace to play football and to do what he did last season. And if he does what he did last season, he will be a fan favourite very quickly indeed. 30 league starts last season for Wolves, 14 goals, 4 assists. The only issue with Jorgen Strand Larsen is that Jean-Philippe Mateta is still at the club. He was expected to move to AC Milan on transfer deadline day, but he has a knee issue which put the Italian side off completing that move. And that means Mateta and Strand Larsen will be battling it out for minutes at Selhurst Park. Now, the obvious thing to say is that having spent £48 million on a player, surely Jorgen Strand Larsen starts and Mateta will have to make do with a place on the bench. Is it possible that they'll play alongside each other? Maybe. But right now, if you have Mateta, I would be a worried draft manager because I think Jorgen Strand Larsen is there for the long haul. And I think he will be first choice striker between now and the end of the season. And of course, in the unlikely event that he is free on your waivers, absolutely snap him up because he could return to the sort of form which made him a fan favourite with Wolves in his debut season in the Premier League. Everton have brought in Tyreek George on loan from Chelsea. He is a midfielder. He's made just 3 substitute appearances in the Premier League this season in game weeks 3, 4 and 5. He has got 3 goals and 1 assist in all competitions, scored in the Champions League, which is, not to be sniffed at. And last season, 26 appearances in all competitions for the Blues, 3 goals and 5 assists. It strikes me that Tyreek George has come in as a Jack Grealish replacement who has got a long-term injury. And if he can repeat the sort of form that Grealish has shown in his time at Everton, then he could be a very successful pickup indeed. One to keep an eye on, but one to consider, I think, on the waivers. I wouldn't move this weekend, but I'd certainly keep him in the back of your mind for the next few weekends and see how he fares on his debut, which I imagine will come in game week 25. Fulham have brought Oscar Bobbin from Manchester City. The Norwegian midfielder has cost the club £27 million. He made 5 appearances for City this season, walked away with 1 assist from those 5 appearances. Last season, 14 minutes of Premier League action, 0 returns. The season before, 2023 to 2024, he started really brightly. 3 appearances, 1 goal, 1 assist, but then he picked up a long-term injury, which really put an end to his Manchester City career. He's also injured now. He's suffering from a hamstring injury. There is no expected return date in mind. But when he is fit and firing, Oscar Bobb certainly has the talent to have an impact at Fulham, although those wing places at Fulham are pretty clogged up right now. So it may be that he is an impact substitute to begin with. And I think that means right now, not one to consider for your draft team. Leeds have brought in Facundo Buonanotte on loan from Brighton. Buonanotte actually spent the first half of this season on loan at Chelsea, but he made only 1 Premier League appearance. He has made 2 substitute appearances for Leeds since signing, but he has not broken into the first team just yet. Last season, he was on loan at Leicester City, and he made 14 starts and walked away with 7 attacking returns, 5 goals and 2 assists. I think for now, Buonanotte is another player who is more offering squad depth than immediate starting 11 potential. And that means he is not someone who should be high on your priority list when you're looking at those waivers. Manchester City, we're going to touch on very briefly, just to say they've made some signings. Mark Gahey, 20 million from Crystal Palace. Antoine Semenyo, 65 million from Bournemouth. Both of those players will already be taken in all the draft leagues all over the world. But if they're not, pick them up. Nottingham Forest have signed Lorenzo Luca on loan from Napoli. He is a striker. He is a very tall striker. He is the tallest player in the whole of the Premier League. His first season at Napoli has not gone to plan. He got just 2 goals in 23 appearances, but he was far more prolific at his previous club, Udinese. Last season, 36 appearances for them, 14 goals and 2 assists. 2023 to 2024, 39 appearances, 9 goals and 4 assists. If you look at the sort of goals he scores, it is probably not going to come as a surprise to you that a 6'7" striker is quite good with his head. He seems to fit the bill of what Sean Dyche looks for in a striker, and I think that means that sooner rather than later, he will be starting for Nottingham Forest. Obviously, Igor Jesus got the nod at the weekend against Crystal Palace, but I expect Luca to start sooner rather than later. So if he is still free on the waivers, I would seriously consider picking him up as a third choice striker, particularly with their fixtures in game weeks 25 and 26 being pretty tasty. Forest have also signed Stefan Ortega from Manchester City for £500,000. He is a goalkeeper. He made 12 starts for City last season and kept 3 clean sheets. And the reason he is of interest is because if you have a non-playing second goalkeeper, you may now be able to pick up a playing goalkeeper, because Matt Sells limped off against Palace with a groin injury. John Victor is out for the season with a knee injury. Angus Gunn was already at the club when Stefan Ortega signed, so the assumption has to be that Stefan Ortega has overtaken Gunn in the pecking order. And Nottingham Forest's next 2 matches, as we said, Leeds away in game week 25 and Wolves at home in game week 26. So an under-the-radar pickup for the waivers, but one that could certainly solidify your goalkeeping options between now and the end of the season, or at least until Matt Seltz returns from injury. Forest have also signed a left-back, Luca Netz, for £2 million from Borussia Mönchengladbach. He made 17 appearances for the German club this season, ended up with 2 assists and no goals. Last season, 25 appearances, 1 goal and 2 assists. He was linked with moves to Spurs and Lazio as well as Forest, but it was Forest who got their man. Probably going to be regarded as a backup to Nico Williams. But of course, Nico Williams is suspended for that Leeds match in game week 25 because he got sent off last time out against Palace for suddenly realizing or thinking that he was a goalkeeper. So Williams won't be available for that one. And that could see Luca Netz walk into Forest starting lineup as early as game week 25. Do I think he's worth a pickup on the waivers? Not really. I think Forest defenders will probably be free in most leagues. And I think some, the likes of Murillo and Milenkovic, will probably get you more points than this left back. Spurs signed Conor Gallagher for £35 million from Atletico Madrid earlier in January. He made 27 appearances for the Spanish side this season, got 3 goals and 1 assist. He's already made 3 starts for Spurs. He's had an assist. He's racked up 29 DEFCONs. Twice he's hit 11 DEFCON and just missed the threshold by 1. And in his time at Atletico Madrid, his best season was in 2024-2025 when he made 50 appearances, ended the season with 4 goals and 6 assists. And his last season in the Premier League was back in 2023, 2024, when he also made 50 appearances, got 7 goals and 9 assists for Chelsea. That was in all competitions. So he's kind of a jack of all trades, really. Can get you a goal, can get you an assist, should be racking up those DEFCONs sooner rather than later. The signs are certainly positive that he will be. Again, decent fifth midfield option if he's free in the waivers, but I wouldn't rush to get him over anyone like Xavi Simons, who probably has more potential to deliver attacking returns. Sunderland have signed Nilson Angulo from Anderlecht. He is a winger. He's cost the club £17.25 million. He's been brought in as a replacement for Simon Adingra, who has gone on loan to Monaco. Adingra, for perspective, made just 9 starts for Sunderland, got a goal and an assist in that time. Angulo has made 30 appearances for Anderlecht this season, has got 7 goals and 8 assists for the Belgian club. He was linked with Manchester United and Spurs, so his pedigree is clearly quite high. Will he walk into a Sunderland side that is playing so well at the moment? I don't think so. I think he'll have to wait for his chance in that team, and therefore I don't think he is worth consideration in the waivers anytime soon. West Ham, well, some of these players you'll know pretty well because they've played quite regularly since signing. Tati, their forward, joined for an undisclosed fee from Lazio. He made 98 appearances for the Italian side, 22 goals and 16 assists. He's already made 4 starts for West Ham and has got 1 assist from 1.6 XGI. West Ham have Burnley away and Bournemouth at home in 2 of their next 3 matches. So if Tati is still free on the waivers, I would absolutely consider picking him up. He is a decent striker. West Ham need goals and fast. And Tati, outside of Jared Bowen, is probably the best hope of getting them. Although a word for Crescencio Somerville, who's certainly enjoying a bit of a golden period right now. West Ham have also signed Pablo from Gil Vicente in Portugal for £21.8 million. He made 13 Premier League appearances for Gil Vicente this season, got 10 goals in 13 games, which is obviously pretty impressive. 3 starts for West Ham, though, and 0 returns, 0.4 XGI, not too impressive either. But as we say, Burnley away and Bournemouth at home in 2 of their next 3 matches. If Pablo's ever going to score, maybe it will be in the next 3 weeks. And again, a player, if you have a non-playing third striker, to absolutely consider, because he is getting minutes right now. West Ham have also signed Adama Traore, a midfielder from Fulham, for a low fee of just £1 million. He made 15 appearances for Fulham this season, just 1 start, 0 returns, no goals to his name, no assists to his name. In 2024-2025, finished the campaign with 2 goals and 8 assists. And in 2023-2024, 2 goals and 3 assists. We've spoken about it. Yes, they have Burnley away next. They have Bournemouth at home as well in one of their next 3 matches. But is that enough to justify a move for Adama Traore? No, it isn't. Yes, he is muscular. Yes, he must use a lot of baby lotion on a daily basis. But is he a decent draft asset? I think we all know the answer to that. And it is a resounding no. West Ham have also completed the signing of Axel Disasi on loan from Chelsea. He is defender. He has made a whopping 0 appearances this season, so who knows how fit he is. But last year, he was on loan at Aston Villa, and he did okay. He made 13 Premier League appearances, 7 for Villa, 6 for Chelsea. And with Todibo sent off against Chelsea last weekend, he is going to miss the next 3 matches. So they might have to fast-track Disasi into the West Ham starting 11. Burnley away, Manchester United at home, Bournemouth at home the next 3. West Ham defensively have been shambolic. I don't think Axel Disasi is going to be high on anyone's waiver lists, but he's there if you're in a larger league and for some reason you want a piece of the West Ham defensive pie. Wolves have been busy as well. They brought in Angel Gomez on loan from Marseille. He made 20 appearances for the club in his one and only season with the club, it seems. 4 goals and 1 assist. The majority of this season's matches, he has been played as an attacking midfielder. Last season, he was at Lille, 20 appearances, 2 goals and 1 assist. We all know him as the player who earned 4 England caps under the caretaker management of Lee Carsley. And to be fair, he looked excellent. He is very slight, so it'll be interesting to know how he adapts to the physical level of the Premier League. And of course, he is playing, unfortunately, in a pretty poor team. But if he impresses, maybe he's one for next season if he can earn a move to a slightly more successful club. Right now, I don't think he's worth consideration for your draft team. Wolves have also signed a striker, Adam Armstrong, for £7 million from Southampton. 29 appearances in the Championship for him this season, 11 goals and 4 assists. Pretty impressive return, but this is not new. The problem with Adam Armstrong is he's a fantastic Championship striker, but not a fantastic Premier League striker, as these stats show. Last season in the Premier League, 20 appearances for Southampton, 2 goals and 2 assists. The season before in the Championship, 46 appearances, 21 goals and 13 assists. Outrageous. The season before in the Premier League, 2022-2023, 30 appearances, 2 goals, 1 assist. The season before, also in the Premier League, 23 appearances, 2 goals, 3 assists. And the season before, back in 2020-2021, in the Championship, 40 appearances, 28 goals, and 5 assists. So in the Championship, he scores 20 goals a season minimum. In the Premier League, he scores 2 maximum. If you are desperate, truly desperate for a third striker option, maybe think about Adam Armstrong if you're in a huge draft league. But if the likes of Pablo or Tati are still free, Adam Armstrong is not worth consideration. So that is our little look at the key January signings of the season in the Premier League. Your to-do list is short this week. We want you to follow us on our socials. We are on X and Instagram at FPL Draft Zone. We're also on Blue Sky at fpldraftzone.bsky.social. If you are listening to us in audio form, please leave us a 5-star review and make sure you are subscribed to the pod so you never miss an episode. And if you are watching us on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to the channel and tell your friends to do exactly the same. The conclusion from today's key January signing special is that probably Aston Villa have made the signings that are most worthy of your consideration on the waivers. If you need a midfielder, Douglas Luiz is your man. If you need a striker, Tammy Abraham's your man. And if you need a West Ham muscle man, Adama Traore is not your man. Until next time, it is bye for now.